Welcome to the Adventures in Alchemy podcast, where we share tips, techniques, and true stories to support you in using the law of attraction and alchemy to create magic and live the life of your dreams. Here's your host, the founder of dailyalchemy.com, Michelle Martin Dobbins.
Hey there, it is Michelle Martin Dobbins from dailyalchemy.com, and I am recording this Adventures in Alchemy podcast on Halloween, one of my favorite days of the year. But it is quickly being followed up by another favorite day, November the 1st, All Saints' Day in the Catholic religion, the Day of the Dead that a lot of Mexican Catholics and some other maybe South American Catholics celebrate. And the reason that most people think it's celebrated at that time of year is because this is the time of the year when the veil between the worlds is thinnest and it's easier to connect with those who've passed on. That being said, I believe in connecting with my ancestors all year round, but we do in our home for the past 3 years, since we've kind of learned more about this and gotten more interested, have set up an ancestor altar, a special one every October, and kind of have a feast day with them on November the 1st. So we're looking forward to doing that tomorrow, but you will probably be hearing this podcast after that time has passed, and you do not have to wait a whole year to start working with your ancestors if you feel called to do so. So I want to share with you 3 easy ways that you can connect with your ancestors all year round. And the first one, you're gonna love it. It kind of sounds evil when I say it that way. But the first one is to heal your own crap, okay? Yes. We are linked, right? We're linked to the past. We're linked to the future. You know, that's why it's called a family tree. It just keeps branching out and branching out. And there's links between our old ancestors and the people who we're going to be ancestors to. And the best thing that we can do for them, those who went before and those who went after, because like time is a construct, right? So when we heal our own stuff, we're spreading that healing throughout everybody that we're connected with. I kind of believe that at some level, we're all connected. We're all one. But especially those ancestors who are closer connected to us, when we heal our stuff, we're healing their stuff. And a lot of times, familiar patterns, for whatever reason, get carried through. I'm not a big believer in things being genetic, so to say. I think most of them are more vibrational, more of a belief pattern and a vibration that's passed down that can definitely cause certain medical things, health things to outbreak in our body. But people seem to create a lot of times these same patterns that their ancestors had. And I think that's because, you know, you grow up in the vibration of your parents, and then they grow, you know, then their children grow up in the vibration of them. And it just kind of sometimes gets passed down. And if you're the person who says, hey, I am changing this for my family, I'm changing this for myself, first and foremost for yourself. But when you change it for yourself, you're going to change it for your family. And I know that I have felt that in some of the work that I've done personally to grow, especially around aspects of being female and what females can and can't do in our society, because that's been a generational thing for my family. Just females don't work, females can't make money, females have to, you know, follow certain rules. And I know there are lots of families that have that old story type. So when you heal those things for yourself, you're sending that healing, that vibrational shift through your whole family tree. So that is, like, to me, one of the best ways. And I know that when I've done that work, I've like literally felt this connection with past and present people in my family tree and how grateful they are for that work. And I know that sounds really weird and it's kind of hard for me to explain, but it just happens and it's really cool. I've also known some relatives of mine do a lot of genealogy work, and they've had these connections where they actually just see those relatives raising their hand, pick me, work on me next. And, I really feel like they love the fact that we think about them because, especially nowadays, people don't even necessarily think about their ancestors, their relatives who are alive. We're so caught up in the busy craziness of modern day life that we don't think that anything from the past can be beneficial to us, but it can, and we can be beneficial to them. So that's my first thing, is do your own healing work and just set that intention that healing work is going to go all the way through your family tree and it's going to benefit everyone. The second one is to create an ancestor altar in your home. As I said at the beginning, I have one that we keep up in October through November 1st or a few days after, but I also have an ancestor altar that is up all year round. And, it doesn't have to even look weird to anybody. Your mantle with pictures of relatives that have passed away can suffice. Or you can have a special area of a wall in a room or a hallway or anything that can be your ancestor altar. I do like to have a place where you can sit some offerings down, which I'll talk to you about a little bit more, but that is totally optional. But it's just nice to have a place where you put these pictures of your ancestors and just remember them when you look at them. And, it's going to be a place where you're going through and just thank them for going first and, being a part of your history. And so that's just a simple thing. And, it doesn't have to be a lot, and you don't have to have pictures of all your ancestors. And you don't even have to, if you're adopted or you just have circumstances where you don't necessarily have pictures of your actual biological genetic ancestors, the family that you love are your ancestors too, whether or not they're biologically related to you. And there's also some interesting things that you can do. I've seen people do like pictures of flowers or just even a picture frame that had just like black in it or something to symbolize it. You can work with whatever stirs up those feelings in you. And if you have family heirlooms, that's a great place to put them. And nobody necessarily who comes into your house would think anything weird about this. Also, I'm going to put a link to a website, and I forget the name, but they have a really nice blog post explaining about how to use ancestor altars with some pictures. I have a picture of my ancestor altar on my Facebook page, and I will put a link to that in the show notes. So if you want to find that picture, you can find it. But you can even search it up, and you can find a lot of information just doing internet searches on ancestor altars. So that's step 1 and 2, right? Like work on healing your own stuff and just intending. And I think even if you don't intend, it's still going to go through your whole family tree. 2, to create an ancestor altar, place in your home just to show respect and remembrance to your ancestors. Number 3 is, and this, everything of course is always totally optional, right? Is to work with your ancestor altar at least once a month. Saturday is kind of a traditional day of the week to do things with your ancestor altar. So you could leave out, a bowl of water or some flowers or some food on your altar if you want. Or, just take time to sit and do a short meditation and picture your family tree healing, look at it and inspect it and see if parts of the tree are damaged. Are there problems with the root system? Are there problems with the bark? And just see it become a whole thriving tree as kind of a metaphor for your family tree. Just picture in your mind, this is my family tree. What needs healed and how can I heal it? And that's a fun little meditation that you can do. Or just spend time in a quiet meditation and ask, do my ancestors have any messages for me? And then just, go into a quiet meditation and see if anything comes up. You don't have to reach out for it. And even if you do that process and you get nothing. You just get a quiet 10, 15, 20 minutes of meditation, and you get up and go on about your day. You may get a message later. You may see something that reminds you of a relative, or you may see or smell your grandmother's favorite cologne, or her favorite flower may pop up, or something that means something to you. So just keep an eye out for those messages that let you know that they hear you and they're working with you. So those are really my main 3 things that you can do all year round. There are a lot of other things you can do, but those are my favorites. You don't have to have an altar to work with them. You can just sit down and do the meditations if you like. And if you have an altar and you don't want to sit down, or you don't want to do offerings, that feels weird to you, that's totally fine. You can, just have it there as a remembrance. And like anything, when we talk about alchemy, the main way to transform your life and create what you want is to believe that you already have it, right? So if this is something that is in interest to you, is to have a deeper connection with your ancestors. Go through life as if you do. Maybe spend some time conversing with them in your head, or like I said, doing the meditation, but do it from that place of, I already have a great connection with my ancestors. And as a person who has a great connection with my ancestors, this is how I walk through life, and this is what I do, and this is how I support them, and this is how they support me. And then just see what magic happens for you. It's been a really interesting process for me because I didn't really consider working with them until probably, like I said, about 3 years ago that I really got interested in this. It wasn't really something that we did in my family growing up. We visited Mexico around that time, and so it was really interesting to learn about their traditions. And then I started studying, lots of cultures do this in different ways. And so we kind of started doing it in a way that felt right for our family, in a way that felt like a good connection. And that's what I would encourage you to do. Give it a try and see what happens. It can just be a really rich experience. Because most of us, we kind of crave that knowledge of who we are and where we came from and what happened before and all those old stories. And you can connect with that energy, whether or not you know these things or not. You just start where you are and intend to have that rich experience, and you will create it. So that is all for today. Go out and create some magic with your ancestors. That's a whole nother thing too. A lot of people call on their ancestors for help. So you can play with that and invite them into your world. All right, namaste and big hugs, and I will talk to you next time. Would you like some help creating more magic in your life? I've got a ton of freebies and goodies for you. They're all tucked away inside my magical freebie vault. You can get free access, though. You just have to go to www.dailyalchemy.com/magical-freebie-vault. Again, that's dailyalchemy.com/magical-freebie-vault. And when you get there, you can just plug in your name and email, and you will get instant access to all kinds of goodies. There are daily and weekly manifesting planners, the How to Shift Your Vibe in 5 Minutes e-kit that has audios and a workbook. There are moon manifesting planners and daily love lists and money trackers and all kinds of goodies right there. I didn't want to make you have to go to a bunch of different pages and sites and wait for certain freebies to come out. So I just took all of my freebies and put them in one place where you could just sign up one time and download any of them that you want at any time that you needed.
So you can just head on over to dailyalchemy.com/magical-freebie-vault and download them today. Have a magical day.
Thanks for listening to the Adventures in Alchemy podcast. Connect with me on thedailyalchemy.com or Facebook at facebook.com/Michelle Dobbins, author. Join us next time for even more magical life tips.